The following critiques are intended to provide the members of the St. Catharines Camera Club with information to help improve their photography skills. The critics are members of the club. A nice winter wonderland image. The position of the dark branches is nicely done. A little more time could have been spent to wait for a little better lighting, or maybe moving around the tree to get an angle that brings out the branches a little bit more. Although this is a nice image, a little more time could have given it that stand out from the rest effect. This is a great start to a sunset image. There are a couple of suggestions for the maker to consider to make the image a little stronger. First, reframe or crop the image. Try not to make the horizon cut through the center of the frame. Also, there is too much water in the lower area that doesn't add to the image. Remove a bit from the right side where the sky has limited interest. Attached is an example of this. Additionally, the contrast and clarity was slightly tweaked to pull a bit more color from the sky, and selected areas in the clouds were edited to pull out a light streaks through the clouds a bit more. This is a nice image. Good overall exposure, but a little overexposed on bits of the white in the tulip. Attractive subject with vibrant colors. A more pleasing composition could be achieved by shooting more straight on rather than shooting on the downward angle. This would eliminate cutting off the tops of the background blooms. It would also eliminate the distracting background horizontal lines from the steps. Nice soft effect from the fog. If this is the effect that the maker wanted to achieve, it was successful. Impact is low because of the lack of depth caused by the fog in zooming in too close. The lines of the platform, the texture on the left, and the windows on the right help make this central placement of the subject acceptable. The image has a good even exposure throughout, with no areas either overexposed or too dark. Sharpness of focus is adequate, but could be improved slightly, somewhat, through photo editing. Is there a subject here? Is it the truck or the interesting platform in the background? The white sign does distract away from the other two primary elements in the image. The maker should consider how to present a clear main subject. Assuming the truck is to be the subject, the maker could consider the following: cropping the image so that there is less negative space, i.e. water. Crop so that the truck is at or near one of the third of rules intersecting points. Consider whether as much sky is needed. Consider cropping so that the white sign is removed and or the platform. Use a telephoto lens to draw in closer to the truck. This is really a lovely scene, and I like that it is presented in a panorama view. It is sometimes tricky with really busy photos, but I think in this case it works as all the elements work as layers. The foreground of flamingos pulls you into the shoreline with the driftwood and the water buffalo, and then the viewer's eye is pulled further into the photo by the zebras in the back. One of the things that would have made a stronger photo is if there was better detail or sharpness, especially in the water buffalo's face. It is difficult to determine the maker's intent with this image. The gull being the predominant figure is weak because of the wings being clipped. As the action is gliding, this clipping is distracting. A horizontal format would have been a little better, a little more successful. The land would be a little more relevant, and so balancing out some of the negative space between the gull and the land. It's a nice touch to have the birds and the background out of focus. This adds a little depth to the image. Nice detail throughout the image. Expression on the owl's face calls for your attention. The whites throughout the image seem washed out some. The owl is good at placing itself in a location where they blend into the background. Somehow the background does not seem natural in this image. If it is intended for an open image, the background is too bright and takes some of the attention away from the bird. The strip along the top and a partial on the right lower corner should be cropped out. Interesting subject matter with good overall exposure. A bird in action is always more interesting to the viewer than if it is just perched. Some blurring of the beak due to the action which is susceptible. The image appears to be over sharpened, possibly to try to compensate for the blurring in the beak. No catchlight in the eye makes the eye look dead. This could be corrected by using full flash. Capturing the whole bird and even part of the hand would improve the composition and the storytelling aspect of the image. The maker has captured a competition-worthy image. There is a good background with no distracting features. The branch is well situated. It does not leave the image at a corner. There is a good catch light in the eye, and feathers are quite well focused. The maker might consider improving the sharpness just a little using photo editing. Existing lighting enable the maker to distinguish the feathers, not always easy to do with black birds. The maker might also consider a slight cropping behind the bird so that there is less space than in front of the bird. Interesting presentation and panorama. The darkness on the right side helps keep you in the image. There is a nice start of a curved line across the frame. I'm thinking this is in an aquarium. We got a couple of issues that make this type of image difficult. The glass is usually not optically correct, causing soft images. The glass often has minute sediment on it, making it even more difficult. Lighting here is very harsh on the subject, and it looks like we've got a distracting glare coming off of the glass. This being said, there are a few things that will help improve this image. Although I have done this in Photoshop, it is good practice to watch for some of these corrections before the shutter is released. I started with a little cropping on the left and top, eliminating the white flowers in the lower corner and some of the distracting ones on top. Then I adjusted the exposure to bring back some detail in color. Photoshopped out the bottom right and a bit along the top, and 3 of the bright objects on the rock, quarter in from on the left side. Nice clean image. The color and muteness of the background help to emphasize the bird. The focus on the eye and beak seem a little soft. The detail in the feathers is almost visible. With a little tweak in post-processing, the texture can be brought out. The catch light is there, but can use a little highlighting. I flip the image horizontally. It gives the feel that the bird is looking into the image rather than out. The perch is a little bright, cropping a little of the tail side of the image gives a little more impact to the subject.